everybody what to do. Oh, we've got fine quality firearms now. That second from the top is a Chinka,
Yeah.
kind of,
Yes.
except it's got a matchlock one.
Yeah.
Uh, Above that looks like a Turkish or Persian musket with
Musket.
or Caucasian
Yeah.
um, with a ball trigger,
Yeah. Ball trigger. Yeah.
and the pistol on the lower left has a ball trigger,
Yeah.
whereas the pistol on the right, the lower left looks like a Michele lock.
Yeah.
The one on the right is a wheel lock.
Wheel lock. This one is wheel lock.
Yeah. So you've got basically every kind of thing before the percussion lock.
Yeah.
I mean, uh,
Yeah.
oh, here we've got a load of interesting stuff. A very nice saddle.
Yeah. Very
That
nice.
saddle is actually Central Asian, I
Yeah.
think. Um, Very nice looking swords.
Yeah. Let me see if I have better
And is that
pictures there. Ah, yeah. Look at the
yeah,
Krug armor.
yeah, yeah. When you see it like that, it's kind of reminiscent of a China.
Yeah.
Um, maybe they just, but Krug is all linked with mail, so it's a whole different structure.
Yeah.
Um, and they always have these beautiful central plates, fluted and whatever. A very nice parlor on the right as well.
Yeah. Very nice.
18th, 19th century, something like that.
Yeah.
Gee, they made good swords. Oh, here
Yeah.
we have a fine bow and quiver.
Yeah.
Um, I think the quiver is Tartar in design.
Yeah.
I think some of the bits of the quiver have become detached and reattached in the museum.
Yeah.
The there's um towards the top of the quiver
Mm.
there's a little metal object like that going to the side. That is actually meant to be on the bottom of the quiver facing up and down because there's a lot of quivers in good condition where that happens. But bearing in mind these quivers often had quite a long lifespan, things can fall off and get put on in different places or whatever.
Absolutely.
But that's got some really nice metalwork on it.
Look at this.
Yeah. See that bottom mount, the big bottom mount under the triangular one at the mouth of the opening of the quiver, that is clearly a mount possibly for the back of the quiver, though you
Mm.
wouldn't imagine you'd do that. Look at the fine work on the metal though.
Yeah.
This is really high quality work.
Yeah. It is. Absolutely. It
Yeah.
is.
And the bow looks very, very strong.
Yes.
Look
Now
how
we
thick it is.
leave the museums. We go to
Mhm.
another major private collection, and which has a Japanese armor. Okay, forget
Oh,
the shamshi in front of the Japanese armor.
well, yes. People often walk around with shamshes. It's quite normal. Um,
Yeah.
so there's a bit of confusion in the Japanese armor because it looks like his kote are mounted as leg pieces when they're actually arm pieces.
Yes.
Uh, but it is a very good quality armor.
Yes. Very good quality.
There's a few pieces that are in the wrong position, but
Yes.
that's
Look at these
you
peaks.
got to, some of these things were collected such a long time ago that people had no idea. They
Yeah.
may have had extra bits because that's definitely a kote hanging out from underneath the sodo there.
Yes.
So that's and the lacing on that is really old.
Very old. Yeah.
It's interesting that there's a piece that's underneath the kote that's sitting here, which
Yeah.
is basically looks like it's embossed metal to look like laced scales,
Yeah.
which the Japanese did. I mean, they did all kinds of wonderful things with metal.
Yes.
But the actual scales in the armor,
Mm.
it's very hard to tell with Japanese armor sometimes. I would say they're Kitsuka Kazane, which is bands of metal that are then cut into the shapes of scales and then
Yes.
lacquered, and the lacquer is carved into the rounded shapes of the scales, and then it's gilded and the holes are pierced and everything like that. It's a very sophisticated, but 17th, 18th century. Oh no, maybe 15th century it started happening. Oh, that's a beautiful kabuto.
Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah, these ones with the upstanding rivets, which was an archaic design when they were made.
Do you
They were
know what this
copying.
type reminds me of? Of a hedgehog.
I was thinking the same thing.
You were, yeah.
Yeah,
It reminds me of a hedgehog, yeah.
yeah. Could you imagine? You don't want to pat it.
Yes,
That's your,
exactly.
but that looks like a 64 plate helmet. These are really expensive to make in Japan at the time. I mean, these you didn't just go out to the shop and buy one. These helmets were made for particularly rich and important people. Uh, they were
Yes.
very heavy too. Um, that's a really nice mask, Mempo.
Yeah, nice mempo, yeah.
Yeah, it's really exceptionally well done. And is it Makiwara, the big thing stuck on the front?
Yeah,
This is a classic design for that too.
yes, very
Um,
nice. And now an
it,
Indian armor.
oh yeah, this is one of the Bikaner ones, I think.
Yes.
So, well, I've got one in a box that belongs to a friend of mine that I'm going to get out and film. It's taken me a while to work out how to film it. I mean, to get across, I mean, this is a really good photograph, and you get a good idea of how it's put together.
Yeah,
But when you've got one and you've got to move it around, and it's from the 1600s, and the mail it has worn, and the plates are very thin from ages of use. Um, it's a bit nerve-wracking, particularly when it's not yours.
yeah,
You've got
of
to be
course.
twice as careful. But these are such effective. I got to try on one
Yeah,
when I was young and thin, and when you put them on, you don't even know you're wearing them.
yes.
They're so good. Having the plates around the torso
Yeah,
distributes the weight of the mail better
yeah.
because when it's done up, everything sits much better than a mail shirt would.
It's
And
also
I don't know if
inscribed. Do you see that bead? Look at the inscriptions.
oh yeah, yeah, that's probably from the arsenal where it was kept.
Yeah.
Because in the Indian states, um, they were very well organized. I've got swords that have got arsenal numbers on them and everything.
Yes.
Because even in Tibet, I mean, if you look at the Tibetan armors in the Metropolitan Museum of Art, they've often got little metal tags that tell you which ones go with, which bits go with which
Yes.
and everything. Because people valued armor. That's nicely done. See, they're so old, yet they're in remarkable condition.
Yeah.
There's one I just saw one of the rings where the rivet's fallen out,
Yeah.
and look how fine the hole is for the rivet.
Yeah. It
Oh,
is.
it's a
Here.
goddamn
Here. Let me show it here.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
These Indian armors was just so good,
Yeah. They were very good.
and yeah, to last this long. Oh, I love the backs.
Yeah.
I'm pretty certain I saw someone in America once in one of the reenactment groups who made himself an armor like this,
Hmm.
and one that was fresh and new and being worn by some big muscular person wandering around. They're very, very impressive.
Very
I
impressive.
mean, laid out flat, it's just looks like a work of art or something. But when it's on somebody, it kind of it shows off the shape of the body.
Look.
Oh, I love the look of these. I seriously think that they cut down the time it took to make an armor as well. Because think of all the rings that you don't have to make. And
Really
all
nice.
these little overlapping plates are very good at absorbing impact. Oh, this is an odd shaped helmet.
Yes. Very old.
I've seen helmets that have like a two-part structure, like they have a kind of very broad conical part and then a more typical conical part on top. Um, both from the Middle East and from the steppe areas, and even in Tibet and Mongolia, because there's a couple of them in the Metropolitan Museum of Art too, that have this shape, this kind of structure. And this is a very old one by the looks of it.
Yeah.
I'm not just talking about condition, but the shape is very
Yes.
old. But it looks like it's been made from a single plate, which
Yes.
means the armor was highly skilled at the time.
Yes.
Yeah, really interesting. This is excavated from a battlefield or something?
Yes. Yes. Oh, they were.
Yeah.
The collector is very famous. And he bought many excavated items back then from, yeah, that's it, exactly.
Yeah, because that's a classic. Well, I mean, in English we call it a pig-faced bassinet.
Yeah.
Some modern collectors don't like that term because of the
Yeah.
pig-faced part. But it's really well designed to deflect blows away from the face.
Yeah.
And of course, the bassinet part, it goes up like that. So anything coming in there gets thrown off. I mean, it might push your head down to
Yeah.
your shoulders a bit,
Yes.
but it's a very effective thing. You can see the rivets all the way around to take the lining
Yes.
so that you're not getting direct blows through the metal. So a very good design.
Yes. And he has a Chinese blade as well.
Wow, that's interesting.
So pattern welded. You
Oh,
see that?
yeah, yeah. Um, I recognize the type of blade. I've seen really old one. There's one been excavated in Mongolia from the 1400s.
Mhm.
Um, but I don't recognize the script. It looks like some kind of seal script, but well, I'm not educated, so I don't know. I love the fullering,
Yeah.
interrupted fullers with little circular bits
Yeah. Very nice
and a
fuller.
very long tang.
Very
So
long.
it had riveted grip scales and possibly a peened over pommel on top of that. So it was very secure.
Very.
At the time this was made, which I have no idea, but looking at the tang, look how, again, remember we were talking about with the European sword
Yeah.
about how strong the tang is?
Yes.
This is really quite a nice design. I
Very
think
nice.
this would be a very effective sword.
More of the pattern welded pattern. You can see it here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Look at how
You
it's,
see?
yeah. That seems to be a really well-made sword.
Yeah, it is.
Um, I'm impressed. I
Yeah,
really am.
really nice. More?
Yeah.
You see?
Oh, yeah. The fullering is exceptional.
Very exceptional.
And I'm not sure. Oh, yeah. I can see extra. There's thin strips in the
Yeah.
fullering on the right-hand side where they've made a very thin channel. So here we have a Roman equestrian helmet.
Yes. These were not for battlefield, as we know. They have a special name.
No,
It just escaped my mind. Yes,
well,
exactly.
sports helmet, equestrian helmet. The thing about them is they were used in a game very similar to Jarrett in Turkey.
Exactly, exactly, exactly.
Short javelins on horseback, and this was the ultimate sports equipment protection from throwing blunt wooden javelins because there's very little chance they could hurt you. But on the other hand, it's also because these were used in military displays, it's the ultimate in decorative
Yes,
armor.
yes,
You've got mythical scenes on the
yeah,
helmet.
yes,
Beautiful workmanship.
yeah, yes. That's right.
Is that? Oh, I was going to say, is that an inscription? Um, Here we have a nice Japanese spear.
Yeah, very nice with a beautiful hamon.
Yeah. They did know how to make nice spears in Japan, among
Yeah.
other nice things. But you see, the little bar is for powering other people's spears.
Yeah,
Because we everybody knows about sword fighting in Japan, katanas, yaido, all this kind of stuff. Um, but spear fighting was much more common in battle,
yes,
and they were really good at it. They
yes,
had a good understanding on how to use spears.
yes,
They usually used them two-handed, which
yes,
meant that they had a lot of effect
yes.
because you can put your whole body weight, if you're on foot, I'm talking
Yeah,
about. On horseback, you can do the same thing, but on foot,
absolutely.
it's more important. Um,
Very nice. Look at this
Actually,
gate.
oh yeah, that would go through almost anything.
Yes, it's Sugaha
And if
Hamon.
you've got to
Yes,
put sufficient force behind it. I'm not
yes,
saying it
yes,
not knife through hot butter
yes,
or hot knife through butter. It's more
yes.
um uh some kind of industrial machine just punching through things if you're strong enough. And they
Very
practice to
beautiful.
be strong.
Very
It's
beautiful.
really nicely designed.
Look at this.
Oh yeah, that's been properly hardened and set up.
Yes.
That would be really, really
It's a
effective,
straight line
particularly against
hamon, sugaha, and you
yeah,
can also see the jihada. Look at the jihada. So beautiful. So
yeah.
beautiful.
This is high grade stuff.
And look.
Oh, on the back it's got the red
Yes.
lacquer in the
Yeah,
fuller.
red
That's a
lacquer.
classic thing. Yeah,
Classic.
and you've got same, or is it? It
Yes,
looks like same, but
it
is it
is.
in
It is
around?
indeed.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Indeed.
This is
Beautiful,
yeah.
beautiful. And
I've only
Tibetan helmets, Pete.
these have been dressed up a little bit.
Yes.
Uh, they're made like there's a particular name for these, and I can't remember it. They're made like the lamellar helmets, except instead of laced together, they're riveted together,
Yes.
and then they're decorated with religious symbols and things like that. The one on the right with the peak is actually much more common. The kind of thing on the one on the left is very common in old paintings and that, but
Yeah.
quite rare in real helmets.
Yes.
But sometimes it gets added to real helmets in maybe the 20th century or
Yeah.
even the 21st.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I think functionally it's probably a good design.
Yeah.
Uh, because it reinforces you against side cuts, and it definitely is shown in a lot of old Chinese paintings.
Yes.
But I've very rarely seen an excavated helmet that has that on it, whereas the peak is quite common. You notice they've got the neck guard is made from lamellar body scales from an armor,
Yeah.
and they're not laced together properly or anything. So this has gone through the uh, antique market
Yeah.
and has been modified in the process. But the core of the helmets are real. These are not
Yeah.
modified. They've just tried to make them look nicer. So antique dealers would get a helmet and they get some scales, and they didn't know how the scales went together, so they just kind of wire them onto the
Yes.
helmets or try and lace them on. Oh,
And now
that looked
look
like a
at this, Pete. I wanted
this
to talk
it
about it with you. Look at the
yeah.
density of mail here.
This is a typical thing for what in the West are called bishop's mantles, which is a neck
Yes,
guard
exactly.
and avatar. It's meant to take strong blows,
Yeah.
and they're quite heavy because there's a lot of metal in them,
Pete, I just
but they're
wanted to
still
say that
flexible.
in the beginning of our talk today, do you remember I said about that heavy mail, Persian mail?
Yeah,
This looks like this. Now,
yeah.
all those people who say penetrating mail is easy, guys, it depends what type of mail.
Oh
Penetrate
yeah.
this.
There's a 1930s black and white, possibly silent movie from the Metropolitan Museum of Art where they get I think it's a sleeve of mail, and the mail is so tight that the person demonstrating it gets a needle and cannot force it between the rings.
You see, here you go.
And this is it. There is mail and there is mail. There's different densities. That's for different purposes.
Yes,
Um, and often, this kind of collar is worn with entirely different armor. Uh,
yeah,
it doesn't have to be a mail armor or something like that. And sometimes it's not even much armor
yes,
at all because it protects those vital areas from strikes
yes,
and stabs. That is a nice sword.
yes, yes.
Again, super strong.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um,
Look at this.
oh, another good one.
Hmm.
This I don't know how long. If it's a long sword, then it's probably a
It
hand and a
is
half
long.
sword.
Yes, it is long.
Yeah, yeah, it's a hand and a half sword, isn't
Yes,
it?
long.
Really nicely made. Oh, oh, that's interesting.
This one is really funny, right?
Yeah, that looks like 17th century,
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah,
So they've taken a saber and they've mounted it with a side
yes,
sword,
yes,
uh, uh, crossguard
yeah,
and knuckle bow.
yes,
Why not? Oh, yeah, this is exceptionally nice too.
yeah.
So
Look at
that's
how
got a strong central fuller.
Yeah.
a very tapering blade. So maybe is it what's left of the point
Yeah.
was fairly strong. Yeah, so you
Very
can
strong.
keep on. Oh, nice.
Again, Ottoman.
Yeah, yeah, but
Beautiful.
really strong yeoman.
Yeah.
Um, nice small grip. Not a metal shape.
Mm-mm.
Sorry, a metal locket
Yeah.
where the blade goes in. It's molded out of leather on
Yeah.
the wood base.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I bet that would be dangerous in up close.
Yeah.
See, the thing about these swords, they're not as long as the Shamshir type swords,
No.
uh, but they're really good in close fighting.
Yeah. Yeah. They are. Absolutely.
And their cutting ability is phenomenal. Oh wow!
He has
Look at
lots of
whole.
swords. If we just see some of them here, this private
Yeah,
collection.
but they're interesting ones,
Yes.
and
Just
some of them are really old.
yeah. Yeah.
I'm not just saying the state of them, but some of the designs are really
Yeah.
old.
Yeah. Very old designs. Yes. I
Yeah.
mean, look, he has thousands of them, right? So I mean, one day, then the war broke out. I wanted to go back there, and he has many things, right?
Because
Look,
there's two, well, one particularly nice Hungarian saber in the middle there.
yes,
That's a really, really high quality, I think.
yeah, he has
Nice
beautiful.
spearheads as well, or lance
Yeah,
heads.
yeah, yeah,
I think a couple of those sabers are like 9th to 10th century. The
yeah,
ones at the bottom look really ancient.
yeah, yeah. This one, he has those ancient sabers. He has, yes,
Yeah, excavated ones from,
yes, excavated ones.
well, yeah,
Just to have an idea how many items he has. Look,
that's amazing. That's amazing.
yes, and look at
Oh, and nice
the,
arrowheads too.
look at
Oh,
the,
and old thumb rings.
yeah.
Uh, so the thumb rings with the little spurs on them are Warring States or early Han Dynasty. Um, there's a Manchu ring there,
Yeah.
but there's at least two Warring States, one in jade and well, both in jade probably. Whistling arrowheads. Then we've got again those big arrowheads for possibly face wrecking. A
Hmm.
whistling arrowhead with a little V-shaped notch in the end of the blade. A whistling arrowhead with a flat blade and a very small metal whistle.
Hmm.
Um,
Oh, this one. Let me
a
show a beat. This one beat means, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
because you could miss that there's a whistle there if you weren't familiar with them.
Good
It's an
that you
interesting
mentioned
thing.
that. Yeah.
There's a whole series of hunting heads that have very small whistles that would have made almost supersonic noises.
Yeah.
And the theory is that each whistle was designed for a particular type of animal.
Mhm.
And some are designed to sound like baby animals in distress, so the animal comes out to have a look. Others are designed to sound like a male honking or something like that, so that the males stand up to fight it. They've all got their kind of specific design. We often hear about them as being mainly for signaling during battle and that, but it was done, but it wasn't the major use. Most
Mhm.
of them were for hunting.
Yes.
I noticed that the second arrowhead from the left has a very long neck and a very small point.
Yes.
And this is typical of Han Dynasty and earlier crossbow bolts. So the crossbow bolt is much longer than a European one, about 68 centimeters.
Mm.
And often half of it is the arrowhead.
Mm.
And the tang usually, there's a bamboo shaft, and the
Mm.
tang is usually almost the full length of the bamboo shaft. These were seriously dangerous missiles.
Yes.
Uh, and we don't know very much about them. If you live in China and read archaeological reports, they're all over the place,
Mm.
and they've known about them for at least half a century. They've been well published, uh,
Mm.
and I've seen a few like in the hand, um, but they were like a metal projectile
Yeah.
with some bamboo glued on it, so you've got something to stick your feathers to.
Mm.
All right, so let's start. So we've got an arrowhead just next to the whistling one on the extreme left. This is a perfectly multifunctional arrowhead. You could shoot it against somebody in mail, and it
Mhm.
might, with a heavy bow, it'll do damage. But you could use it for hunting, or you could use it for fighting against people who
Let me show
didn't
it,
wear
Pete.
armor.
This one, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's a really classic shape. It's very, very good. Then the whistling arrow with the broad flat point. They go back to the time of the Xiongnu at the beginning of the Han Dynasty, and were in continuous use for at least 1,000 years, maybe longer.
Mm.
Then a war arrow. Then an odd shaped one. Uh, I don't know what it's for, but it probably is for birds.
This one, Pete, this one.
Yeah, because sometimes the arrows had blades, but what happened was when they hit a bird, like a goose, which has got very strong feathers, they couldn't cut through the feathers all the way, but they delivered a massive impact, which killed the bird from shock anyway. Then we've got thumb rings. The one on the extreme left may be very old, like 3,000 years old, or it may be a copy of a very old one, because the Chinese dug these things up and said, "Oh, that's nice. Let's make one." They were digging up Han Dynasty crossbow locks in the Song Dynasty and saying, "Oh, that's a good design. We could make these." So nothing is wasted. The next one, the green jade one, that's typical Warring States early Han Dynasty. I've got one. My one's better actually, but we won't go into that. But they're I had a copy made of mine, and shot it, and it was a really good ring. And then I saw one from an archaeological report and duplicated it to my size, and I used that for 10, 15 years. It was such a good ring to shoot with. So I really like that style of ring. Sometimes we talk about bronze rings where you put the ring on sideways and turn it. Well, I will demonstrate with this ring here. So you put the ring on sideways and turn it 90 degrees so it locks and it won't come off. But these rings, often the hole was almost D-shaped, and it was just totally conforming to the thumb. And once you put it on, it wouldn't come off. It wasn't because it locked on the knuckle. It was because it just conformed itself to the shape of the thumb really well. The next one along is the same thing, but it's looking down. Yeah. So the thumb would come up through that. You can the little tag always was coming up there, and I found it was to some extent useful in controlling the position of the arrow. I don't know if that's what it was designed for. It's certainly a lot of them, they're so sculptural, it's very hard to tell. Then the lower one on the right looks very much like a Manchu D-section ring.
This one, this one.
Yeah. It's hard to tell without seeing it in 3 dimensions. I've got only 1 or 2 of those. They're not uncommon. It's just I haven't come across them very often. And they're a very heavy ring. The stone ones are substantially heavier than the cylindrical ones. But I think that their advantage was that they gave you a very solid feel for where you were in your draw. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't made one. I should really. Then the next one is a fairly rough Manchu ring. When I say rough, normally they're turned on a lathe and they're perfectly cylindrical. That one looks as though somebody's carved it out by hand, which is quite reasonable, because this was part of their ethnic makeup and they would have used them all the time. It's an interesting collection of thumb rings, ranging from about 500. Oh, assuming the one on the extreme left is actually Shang, 1100 BC, 500 to 200 BC. The 2 rings on the right probably somewhere between 1700 and 1900 CE. So a good range. But these are nice arrowheads. The one on the left here that has the crescent shape cross piece and the long slender thing and then a blade on the end, they're for hunting hares and rabbits. So what happens is you shoot your rabbit, and the arrowhead stops partway through the rabbit because of the crescent shape. And the rabbit tries to run down its hole and it won't fit in anymore because it's got 3 feet of arrows sticking. Uh, there, for a long time, before I think Peter Decker and other people started translating the military manuals and that, they were thought as some kind of fire arrow where you wrap stuff around and the fork was to stop the stuff sliding down, which it'd work, but they're not. They're for hunting rabbits, and there's lots of them. Some of them have whistles, and they're really an amazing group of arrowheads. The next arrowhead along would be a really good piercing arrowhead.
Yeah.
Flattened diamond section, nice shape. This is the kind of arrow that would make a deep wound, but if it only went in up to the head, the arrow moving around would cause the long, sharp edges to cut the body of whatever it was you shot. So if you shot a deer or a wild boar or whatever, it would, even if it didn't penetrate too far, it would finish the animal fairly quickly because it would cause massive hemorrhaging. If you shot a person, they would be very unhappy unless they pulled it out really quickly. Then the next one, the whistling arrow with the fork head. This is a classic hunting arrowhead. The whistle is to attract the attention of the prey, and it's the exact opposite of having string silencers hunting with modern recurve bows. It's not to be quiet, it's to confuse the animal by making a noise that sounds like something that it's familiar with. As I say, with a deer, it might sound like a rutting male deer, and then the other male deer says, "You can't come into my territory," and sticks its head up and gets shot. It was a really common idea in East Asia, like in the Mongolian steppe and in Manchuria, where there wasn't much of a steppe, there was a lot of forest. So apparently it worked in open country and in forested country. In the painting of Kublai Khan hunting, there is an archer in the background who is shooting at a bird flying high overhead. And the painting is detailed enough to see he has an arrowhead very much like that on his arrow. So possibly for shooting flying birds. But as I say, it depends on the pitch. It could be for all kinds of different things. Yes. It's really nicely made there.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah. So that one that's shaped like a trefoil, like a really wide broadhead. My guess is that shape is to increase the size of the cutting edge.
Yeah.
So again, a hunting head rather than a fighting head. I have no idea what the one next to the diamond-shaped head is. The third one, right in the middle.
This one?
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I haven't seen a head like that before. It may be a target head. I've seen, particularly from China, specialized target heads, like long cylindrical points with flattened ends for shooting at certain types of targets. This may be for shooting at a particular type of target, because you've got both target archery for fun and you have target archery as an examination thing for improving your rank in the army. These are typical hunting arrowheads. The fork ones particularly were used for hunting. They were sharpened on the inside of the fork, and shooting against soft-bodied animals, they would cut a very big hole in them. Shooting against feathered animals, they would concentrate the impact and kill the animal by shot and percussion. As we discussed, that very wide-bladed, odd-shaped one, not really sure how they used that or what it was for. Almost certainly a hunting-type weapon. Though there was, among the Khitan, during the Liao dynasty, there was, I think, a particular mounted archery sport where you got little saplings and stuck them in the ground and shaved a flat piece so you had like this white piece of the inner wood. Yes. And you galloped along with funny shaped arrowheads and tried to cut the sapling in half as you went past. That might be for that. The thumb rings we have here, bronze probably, or brass or silver. these are typical. They're really popular in the 14th through 17th centuries in the Ottoman world,
Yeah.
and among the
Mm.
Crimean Tatars and things like that.
Mm.
I've got some, uh, even a few that fit me and were in good enough condition. I didn't shoot with them, but I did draw a bow with them. They're really comfortable to draw a bow with.
Yes.
And the one I made one in copper like that, and it was exceptionally nice to shoot. Well, I shot with it for 15 or 20 years, and it was
Bede,
really good.
look.
This is an early saber,
Yeah.
9th or 10th century, at the latest 11th century.
Yeah.
You see, it's got that reinforcement at the ricasso part of the blade, so you
Let
can
me
put your
show it.
finger over the
Yeah.
yeah. So you can put your finger over the crossguard and not cut your finger. That is, so you can drop the point for stabbing as opposed to slashing. There's in fact a very famous Safavid painting of, I think it's Rustam and the Witch, where this witch turns herself into a beautiful girl and is playing a musical instrument to entice Rustam to come closer.
Yes.
And he draws his sword and he holds it with his finger over the crossguard and stabs her, and she turns into this horrible, ugly witch.
Yes.
But this is the early version of that, and it still was made on Chinese swords after they put discards on them, and you could
Yes.
never put your finger over it. So
Yes.
we've talked about that before.
Yes, we
But
did.
this is an excellent saber. See the slight canting in the handle, so that it's got a kind of forward
Yes.
grip.
Yes.
Really, really
And
good
another
design.
one, and this one has the same features. You see that, Pete?
Yeah, yeah. This is so classic. And you see the rivets surviving in the tang.
Yeah.
And look at the blade. It's got a very strong shape, doesn't it?
Yes, very strong
Yeah,
shape.
I
Yeah,
these
very
early sabers really effective. It was much later when they developed more efficient techniques that they made them more curved. But at this stage, they were still very effective.
Another one,
Um,
Pete.
oh yeah, that's nice.
He's
Yeah,
very
they all
proud
seem
of
to.
them.
Oh, yeah, I would be too.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, they're oh yes, really nice looking swords.
Another one.
These are yeah. Oh,
Look how many he
wow.
has.
Yeah, that's almost like Hungarian migration period type
Yeah.
crossguard.
Yeah.
3 rivets. Oh yeah, that's
Mm.
good.
Three.
These are impressive. So these have come out of excavations because
Yes.
there are actually a lot of swords in the ground in Ukraine
Many.
because there are a lot of burials there because there's been such a long period of nomadic tribes moving
Yes.
backwards and forwards,
Many.
and they often bury people with their weapons.
Yes.
Because
Exactly. That's the point as well.
yeah. Well, the afterlife apparently was quite dangerous. We think of angels and clouds, and they weren't quite so sure that things were going to be that good.
Yes.
Yeah, these.
And another one.
That's somewhat later.
Yeah, later.
I would say, well, certainly the top one. That
Top
looks
one.
like 12th or 13th century.
Yes. That was the later.
Something like yeah, and see the nice fuller along the back edge.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's got hints of what they're going to be later.
Yeah. Very nice bit. And another one here.
Yeah, that's another early one. I'd say
Yes.
maybe a couple of centuries earlier.
Yes.
Yeah.
Another one.
Yeah.
Bit
with inlay on the crossguard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look how many sabers he has. Early
He
period.
certainly has a really good collection.
Yeah.
And these are important because they're historically important because they show the development of sabers. So this one you would say it's very similar to sabers from the Seljuk area in Anatolia.
Yeah.
Like the Sultanate of Rum.
Yes.
And maybe same kind of dates, or maybe earlier, or maybe a bit later. It's hard to say.
Yes,
really interesting.
We come to the end of our journey to Ukrainian museums. What did you think?
I've got to say, I think there are some brilliant things there.
Yeah.
I mean, really exceptionally good. I think that well, in that private collection, the breadth of early sabers is
Yeah,
stunning.
yeah,
Um, and we have got to hope that these museums survive because this is part of the World Heritage. I mean, whether UNESCO has got round to naming it that as such, it would happen because this is really important stuff. It's historical. It's well, our interests are very much served by it because it shows us the development of weapons. It shows us early versions because Ukraine combines the Rus, like up in Kyiv,
yes,
and the steppe nomads in the south towards Crimea. So you've got this total different styles of swords and all kinds of things. It's really, really remarkable.
yes. In our next episode, Bede, I would like you to that we go to Mongolia and talk about museums there and some
Oh yeah,
statues of warriors they made are very beautifully made. I want to talk about them with you. These are very nice,
yeah,
right?
excellent. Yeah, I love Mongolian stuff.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot,
Thank
Bede,
you.
and I wish you a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.